Hey guys, I'm Sean Carpenter. Welcome to Woodland Outdoor Adventures. Hey, today on Fisherman's Corner, man, I'm going to show you how to make some homemade molds for your plastic baits. Very simple to do, very easy, and very cheap. What you're going to do is start out with fiberglass resin. You can get this at Walmart, at auto parts stores. Walmart's probably going to be a little cheaper. When you get the resin, it's going to come with a hardener. And what you want to do is take the resin, you're going to pour it into a disposable container, and then you're going to take the hardener. With this much, here's what you want to do. What I've done is taken basically, if you guys can see that, all this is a lunch meat container with a plastic bottom on it. So what you want to do, I'm going to set that aside, you want to take a razor knife and a pair of scissors. And what you're going to do with this is first you're going to take and cut the top rim. I'll show you the package. This package here actually has lunch meat in it, guys, so after I might have a sandwich. But what you're going to do is you can see it has that top rim around the top. Well, you really don't need that to be that deep. So the shallower it is, and the shallower you can get away with, the better off you are. So what you want to do is cut that top rim off of that bowl. What you're going to be left with is a much smaller version of that tray. And it's about an inch deep is what I've left it. So then what you want to do is mix up your resin with your hardener. With this much resin, you're probably going to want to put about probably about 15 or 20 drops of this, maybe even a little more. You want it to set up pretty quick is the thing. So we're going to mix this up, and basically what you're going to use is any kind of like a paint stir or anything like that. You want to hold this over this plastic container so if any spills out you don't get it all over the place. And all you're going to do is just mix this stuff up. I'm going to add just a little more hardener because I want it to sit up pretty fast. It takes a little while to get this stuff mixed up, and you want to make sure that you mix it up really good, guys. So you want to mix that hardener in there. Then what you want to do with that is basically just pour that into this tray. It seems like it's a long process, but it's really not, guys. You want to get as much of that in there as you can. And once we get this resin in here, we're going to let it sit. And we're going to let it sit probably, sometimes it takes, depending on how the weather is. If it's cold outside, it may take a little longer. But generally it takes within 30 minutes, it's pretty much ready to use. So we're going to put that in that tray, and we're going to let it sit up. Once that starts to get a little bit harder, you don't want it to get completely hard, but you want it to be hard enough that once you sink the bait down in it, that it doesn't sink all the way to the bottom. What I'm going to use is a frog. I don't know if you guys could see that real good. And it has kind of like the U-tail legs on it. You can do any frog you want to do as far as a soft plastic frog. You can do worms, you can do pretty much any type of plastic that you want to do. Swim baits, you can do the same thing with daggone plastic swim baits, guys. So I'm going to let this sit up for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'll keep checking it, and once it gets to where I think it's about ready for the frog to go in it, I'll show you exactly how to put that in there and what to do after that. Okay guys, the resin is beginning to sit up, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the frog. I've already laid the frog on top of it, so you want that resin to still be soft enough that you can push that frog down in it. So I'm going to push the frog down in that resin. And you don't want to push the frog so far down that the resin covers over the whole frog. About 3/4 of the way or just a little bit more. What you're going to do once you get that pressed down in there, and it gets hard. So it takes about, once you get the frog in there, about 30 minutes for the thing to really get to where you can actually work on it. So once you get that frog in there and it sits up, what you're going to do is you're going to take a rotary tool. You can get these guys anywhere, guys. You can buy them at Walmart, you can get them at Harbor Freight, really cheap. And they come with a lot of different types of just different heads. There's a bunch of them. There's probably 10 different ones that you can use. They have round ones, they have ones that are pointed. So they're very easy to use, and what it'll help you do is, like, once you get the mold, the frog out of the mold, then you can actually take the rotary tool or the rotary tool and actually go along and trim around the edges and make it where it really looks like a store-bought daggone mold, guys. So once that dries, you're going to take and pull that frog out of there. And once you get the frog out, it's very easy to pull it back out of there. And once you get that frog out, what you have then basically, I'm going to try to get this in as close as I can, guys, so you can actually see it. Now if I can get my flashlight to work. Well, anyway, as you can see, what you have now is a perfect frog mold, guys. Now my flashlight decides to come on. I don't know if you can see the detail. I don't think you can, maybe. No, not that way either. Anyway, I'll try to get it as close as I can. You can see down in there, it has the same ripples and the same ridges as the frog body has. So you can probably see a little better on that frog. I don't know if you can or not. Anyway, on this frog, on this side of it, the top side, it has basically where the eyes are, and then it has a lot of little dimples and ripples on the top of it. Well, guess what? Now all those are in this mold. So now all you have to do is pick out which color of frog or which color of worm, whatever you want to make, what color you want to use. Get you a little melting pot, one that you can buy at the Dollar Tree for $1, man, and it's just a little pot with a handle on it. You can melt down your old baits. You want to use at very low temperature so you don't scorch the plastic. Melt that down and then just pour it into your mold. And guess what, guys? Now you have not only your own frog mold, but you can make worm molds, you can make just swim bait molds, you can make all kind of creature baits. It doesn't matter. And with these things, it doesn't cost a lot to make them. You can make a whole lot of these guys, and pretty soon you have probably 10 different molds that you can make all your own baits. Hey guys, what you're going to do is just take that daggum router or the rotary tool after you get your frog out of there. Then you're just going to kind of go around the edges and kind of take off any of the rough stuff that's left. And it's so simple and so easy to do, guys. It'll save you a ton of money. You can make a lot of baits instead of throwing those old baits away. Hey, put them to work, guys. You can make your own right with your own molds. So instead of going and buying $25 or $30 worth of baits, guess what? You've saved all those old baits, and now you make your own baits. So it's going to save you a ton of money in the long run, guys. Hey, I hope those facts or those little tips help you out. Hopefully you can build your own molds, save yourself a whole lot of money. Hey, until next time, guys, hey, keep your lines tight, your hooks in the water. Hope these tips help you out, guys. Great fishing.